Welcome to my first video for the new expansion. Today we will be playing Rally Sword because I always like to start with Sword, and Neutral Sword is still in the kitchen. I'm trying to fix that recipe real quick, but in the meantime we're going to be playing some Rally Sword. Rally Sword, probably the more playable sword deck compared to Neutral. I haven't tested loot yet. I'm not sure if I want to because like we've been playing loot for a lot already, but yeah, so Rally picked up a couple of new tools in this expansion. We got Invisible Soldier, which is just an extremely powerful rally card. Also helps you answer boards with her rush. So yeah, a very solid card that we're very happy to get this expansion. And also we got Twofold Grace, which is basically Rally 2 for 2 PP because, well, you'll get another, you'll generally get at least one other body out of this Twofold Grace. So yeah, and it's pretty solid effects. It summons followers for you later on. You can use the Tsukuyomi to ping damage, Amaterasu can heal, and the spell also recovers evil points, which is pretty valuable now that we have lost Opulent. Similarly, Dashing Duelist stocks have sort of risen since Opulent is gone now. This is our main source of AoE. Board Clear, it's much weaker than Opulent though, which is very unfortunate. And lastly, we have Alwida. I know a lot of people were shitting on Alwida. I actually think she's pretty decent in this deck. Like, she does a decent job of being a finisher. She's like somewhere between. She's obviously, her finishing power is not as stupid as Radial, but she's much easier to use than Radial. You can play her in the early game to answer boards, or she starts working at around Rally 15 or 16 instead of Radial, having you needing to start at Rally was it 20? So yeah, sometimes comes in handy, can help you finish games, help you answer some boards in the mid game. Summons 3 bodies, which is not too bad. Could be better, of course, but eh. And then of course we have the Agile Twin Blader for finishing. I run one Kyriel here. You can probably run something else if you don't really like it. It just like this deck runs out hand cards really easily, so I'm just running the one of Kyriel. When I was making this list, I settled on I've settled on this list for now. I took some reference from the Japanese sword player Maito, of course. But then I did my own testing as well, and this is the list I've been playing for now. So this is the list I'm gonna be showcasing. So yeah, let's. I think I talked for long enough. Let's just jump into some games. So our first game will be against Rune. It seems like Mysteria Rune is the trend right now for Rune. I think that Mysteria is pretty strong. So yeah, of course we're always keeping Pawnmaker. Pawnmaker is just such a valuable source of rally. Now we also have Invisible Soldier, which is another very valuable source of rally. Very flexible. You can play her on 2 if you have going second with Pawnmaker in hand. You just generally play Invisible Soldier on 2. Or if not, if you need something to play on turn 4, you can just play her and Enhance 4, and in the very late game, in the desperate situation, she can finish the game with her Enhance 8 as well. Especially pairs well with Monica, if that ever comes up. So we're just trying to push damage as much as we can early game. I'm trading the Juliet here. There is of course the option of playing aggressive advance, but Juliet tends to stick in your hand a bit, while aggressive advance is more valuable late game, so I chose to just throw the Juliet there first. And then you have another Veil here. So of course we can just enhance 4 here, nothing better to do. And then we just send the Mikhail face, so we're being able to chip quite a lot of damage here because this Mikhail is sticking on the board. So Mysteria gets very scary when they start playing a ton of followers for free. Luckily, our opponent doesn't seem to have generated many of them. The question is whether they have Ginger. Ginger is probably the biggest threat. So they have 2 Mirandas, which is maybe a bit scary, but we can answer this board, so it's not that big of a deal. So we pick up Twofold Grace here and use that to deal with their board a bit. Very valuable that you can just get a rush on demand or a ward depending on which one you need. And then here's the Pawnmaker to hit our rally. You can see our hand's a bit empty, which is a bit concerning. It is why Kyrie is a consideration in this deck. The problem with Kyrie, of course, is that it requires evil points. And we don't have a lot of them now that Opulent's gone. So there's another Miranda from them. And there's Anne. Anne is pretty annoying for us because we don't have a very reliable OTK, and Anne's summoning heals for a lot. So here they can drain 5. Very, very unfortunate for us, and now we have this board to deal with. So here we have pick up Asuka and Shiori here. We just need to draw, so we just play it. Pick up the Alwida here, which helps me see a path towards lethal. So I chose to go aggressive advance here and chip down their damage, and the plan is to finish them off with Alwida next turn. So here comes Anne summoning. And then they evolve the Anne summoning here. Actually got pretty lucky here in that they got greedy and hit my face instead of trading my board. I believe I wouldn't have lethal if they didn't do that, so very fortunate for us. So here we use the kick to get rid of the Amaterasu. And then we play the Vanguard Lancer first, because we won't have board space if we play Alwida first. Alwida here will overflow the Pirate and keep the Viking, so we get the Storm without having to waste board space on the war, and because of this we get lethal. Of course, we did get lucky in the opponent didn't play very well, but I mean, even if this wasn't lethal, we still had Invisible Soldier to finish the next game. So yeah, let's go to the next game. So our next game will be against Haven, and we're going second. Haven is a bit of a toss-up. It could be heal or it could be the 5 cost and above deck. We don't know yet, so we're just gonna look for mainly look for Invisible Soldier, Despotic Pawnmaker, and Twofold Grace are my favorite cards to look for in the mulligan. So we'll pick up Twofold Grace there. It's very nice. Twofold Grace is much better in the early game than when you draw in the late game. But I guess that's pretty obvious, right? So here, the Rush would let us go face, so we pick the Rush instead of the Award. The Award, of course, is not a bad pick either. It depends on what you need at the moment, but here the Rush will help us push more damage, so we pick the Rush. So they are just healing, ignoring our board here, which is good for us. We can deal more damage face, I guess. And of course, prime time to just toss out the Juliet and just start chipping face damage while we can. And we pull out the Aether here, and Aether gets the Sekhmet, which gives us my Alarm, which is pretty annoying. I have to admit, I was not prepared to deal with that. And we're in a bit of a difficult situation here where it's hard for us to get our rally. So I went for the kick here just to deal with the Sekhmet while pushing some face damage as much as we can. It's Heal Haven, they heal a lot, we need to do as much as we can to make sure we keep them in some kind of lethal range for the late game. And there's the Illuvia, so hopefully no Verdelia or Lu. That's not Lu, so we are pretty happy to see that. And it looks like they didn't pull out the Verdelia either, which is great. And here comes the Amaterasu. Another consideration for picking Amaterasu early on is that the rush in the mid game is the board can get in the way sometimes, as you can see here in the mid game. So if you pick Amaterasu earlier, it comes out with rush, which is much easier to work with. But I mean, in this case, I think it was still the correct play to choose Tsukiyomi, just because the rush was more valuable there. So here we're just there is some concern with me locking my own board here, but I feel like I needed to push the damage. And there's the another Sekhmet. No Agent of Commandments is very nice for us. And they even gave us a body to attack into, so they very nicely didn't board lock us, which I'm very appreciative of. And out comes the Monica. So this is this turn is quite difficult because I want to get rid of the Sekhmet here, which means that I need to get to rally 20 as well as get aggressive advance to hit this. So it ended up requiring some pretty inefficient trades. And as you can see, I ended up not having the opportunity to get Monica to buff my board, which is a shame, but leaving the segment up will probably kill me, so I need to clear it, even if it's a bit inefficient. And here, if they don't, we have 14 damage in hand right now, so hopefully they don't heal too much, we will have lethal. Verdelia hits them at 14, which means they're still in lethal range right now. But unfortunately they pull out the Muse Gorman here, so they are out of lethal range. So we have to hope we top deck something. We'll take some damage here. And then here comes Mikhail, of course. And then we top deck the Vanguard Lancer here, which... Well, the top decking Vanguard Lancer here is very lucky and gives me lethal. There is also a bunch of other cards I could have top decked here that would have probably given me the win. There is what's this called? I believe Seeker of Love would have been lethal as well, which we have one copy of. We also have Agile Twin Blader, which also might have been us lethal. So yeah, not too bad, and we could have played Dashing Duelist to try and draw Agile Twin Blader as well. So yeah, but in this case we got lucky, so we could just finish the game with Alwida here. Yeah, you can see Alwida putting in some work already in the new expansion. Of course, not quite as heartening to have in the deck as Opulent. Let's go for the next game. Next game we're going against Blood, and here we're going second. Blood is most likely the deck banished Blood. I don't think there's a... I mean, you can play Wrath, I guess, but Wrath is not super reliable right now with some pretty big pieces having been lost. So I play with the expectation this is the under 10 deck, and against Vampire Liberated, so it is under 10. So pretty okay hand, okay, very nice set that we just top deck there. So we just put on the Seeker of Love. We have 2/4 Grace next to it and Princess Julia. The curve of Seeker of Love and the 2/4 Grace is very, very nice to have. And out comes their Milnard from their deck. Yeah, we're just gonna play 2/4 Grace here. I actually think Amaterasu might not have been that bad to pick, but I wanted to get rid of the ward, so I went for Tsukiyomi. And they got Crimson Talon Strike, which is nice because we can trade off some. It's possible to run some kind of Wrath package with the under 10, which I don't know what they are running, so I chose to trade off the Tsukiyomi there to A, get her in the rotation for the next piece to be summoned, and also B, to prevent them from getting the ability to ping themselves in the face during their turn, in case they are running some kind of Wrath variant. So here we just go for the Invisible Soldier. No Pawn Maker unfortunately, so Invisible Soldier is the best I can do. And then I chose the Evil Face here. I don't expect to be able to live very long with 2 Mikhails in my hand already, so I just have to push as much damage as I can and kill them before they get to their under 10 condition. So here they revealed they are running the evil thing, and they have 2 Signas and 2 Blame, so things aren't looking very bright for me right now. Unfortunately, we have no what's it called? Aggressive advance to get rid of one of those Signas, and Dashing Duelist doesn't deal enough damage to kill them either. So the Amaterasu here actually comes in pretty handy. Just as a way to keep ourselves alive. And then we can just play a toss out Mikhail here. And then another Mikhail. As you can see, we are at rally 11, so no reason to sink the Invisible Soldier there. We might need it for lethal in worst case scenario. So I'm keeping that in mind, so I'm just keeping the Invisible Soldier. Meanwhile, the Mikhail is mostly a brick when you draw it. So here they had Leon Alfie Blooming Dancer, and then they reached 7 evils, which is pretty disgusting considering they had 2 turns and they reached 7 evils. So here we take a bunch of damage from the Signa, which is not very exciting. And our last Mikhail comes in clutch here with a heal. And then we pick up the Adult Twin Bear, so we are seeing a path to victory now. Evil Point Recovery here helps me draw with Asuka and Shiori and heal up. Very important to heal, of course, because we are pretty screwed. And then I'm using the kick here to clear the Signa because I want to play Monica. And then put out the Monica. The reason why I don't kick my own Monica here is because I want to threaten them with it. I still have an evil point, so if they don't clear it, I can evil the Monica and hit face with it. So yeah, that's the point of the Monica. Mikhail will be very nice here to clear these wards, but unfortunately he's gone now. But in exchange we have Amaterasu here. By the way, anything I do is just lethal here, so yeah, pretty like very easily lethal here. So yeah, just clean up the game, and yeah, that's it for this game. I have one more game, I think. Yeah, this is Twin Blader doing some work for next game. So we are now playing against Sword and we are going second, and it brings me great sadness to bring you this match. You'll see why in a moment. But for now, we will just be looking for our usual stuff. Pawn Maker, I like to keep Seeker of Love early if I'm not seeing a super... I think I just like Seeker of Love early, yeah. Even though if you have Invisible Soldier, I think you don't really have to keep Seeker of Love, but I'm just worried that if I toss Seeker of Love back, I won't rally fast enough. Generally though, you rather not have to play Seeker of Love in turn 1 just because it's better as a lethal option later in the game, but oh well. So here they review the Owlcat and the package Owlcat Girl and package Owlcat, sorry. So this is probably neutral. Sword. First neutral sword I run into like so far is playing the new expansion, and I'm very sad to bring you this game because, well, it shows you that neutral sword is a very sad deck right now. It's not very good. Okay, here's another Owlcat from them. They're just poking me in the face, I guess. Here comes the Pawn Maker. A bit difficult to decide when to play Invisible Soldier because generally getting 4 bodies for 4 PP is not super good in the late game. So if you look at my rally count right now, I'm at 7, so even Invisible Soldier here wouldn't reach 10, which is why I just went for Amaterasu here. Of course, no reason to pick Tsukuyomi here when I have nothing to rush into in the first place. So here comes the Charlemagne, so this is definitely neutral sword. And the Mikhail. And they evolved the Mikhail here. But as you can see, neutral sword is heavily lacking in threats. My version, when I tried it, like I had like infinite hand cards. I don't know why the hand is so small, but yeah. Here comes Mercury and then Monica. This sets up Monica for next turn. I'm already seeing Agile Twin Blader in hand, and as you can see, my rally is at 13 now. So the reason I put myself at rally 13, so if they clear this board, Monica and Mikhail will put me at rally 15, so I can Twin Blader, Vanguard, which is like, I'm pretty sure 20 damage at least. It's like what? It's 22 damage. Wait, no. 20 damage. 20 damage, yeah. So it will be an OTK. So they do clear the Monica here, so the Mikhail does. We have Tsukuyomi here, but thankfully she's only 2 attacks, so she can trade into the War Angel of War. And then here comes the Agile Twin Bleeder and the Vanguard Lancer. This is pretty overkill, of course. Buff, and then we could also play another Vanguard Lancer, but we kill them here, and I believe they concede before I finish them. Yep. Yeah, that's it for this game. Very sad. So that is it for this video, first video of the new expansion. Plus playing rally, so I wanted to make it neutral sword, but I think I need more time to work on the list, or maybe someone else will cook up a good list. But until then, neutral sword is not doing so well right now. So we're playing Rally Sword. I wanted to get to use Alwida, and I have to say that I think Alwida is probably better than a lot of people are expecting it to be. It's not like super strong or anything, of course. The fact that she requires an EO point is a bit iffy, but I think she has quite a few strengths of her own as well, being able to clear wards while buffing the board in going phase, as well as just the mid game play if your opponent has a pretty annoying board to deal with. So yeah, I think this deck is like okay. It's not like super strong. I think it's good enough to climb with, I'm pretty sure, and I think there could probably be some room for refinement in this list. I definitely wouldn't claim that I have the perfect list here or anything, but yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Sword's not doing super good right now in the expansion because we lost Opulent. You probably haven't seen a lot of Sword on the ladder. Probably the only class that you've seen less is Forest. Forest is literally non-existent, but yeah, Sword is pretty not super strong right now. But for my fellow Sword loyalists out there, this deck works to climb ladder if you want to. You could probably have an easier time playing some other stronger deck, but I mean, it's Sword. I gotta play Sword. Sword is fun. It's my favorite class. So yeah, that's it for this video. See you in the next one. Yeah, bye bye.